Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we're going to take a look at the December Community Day, which is going to be happening, literally, depending on when you watch it, like tomorrow, or it's currently happening. Basically, December Community Day 2025 is going to be interesting because, again, it's going to be kind of a rewind of what we had before. We kind of have the same Pokemon that we had the entire year, which is kind of cool for the people who kind of missed them. And this is the thing as well, I mainly want to make this video here today because I got a lot of comments in the comment section down below that they wanted to see a video towards it because they want to catch up and they didn't get all the community days done this season and want to know what is important and what is not. And so this is exactly why we are here today, and hopefully you enjoy this video. This is kind of course, if you have suggestions for content that you want to see on this channel, then let me know down below. Again, comment section, I read all the comments, would really appreciate it. Anyway, let's take a look here. Of course, we know already it's going to be from the 6th until the 7th. That's just funny enough a meme, but not really, it needs to be here. But you're going to have double catch Stardust, double catch XP, half hatch distance, double catch candy, double catch XL candy as well there. 3-hour instants and 1-hour lures. Kind of annoying that the 1-hour lures are now a thing and not the 3-hour lures. I think it was way better with 3-hour lures. But yeah, additional special trait you're going to have. You only need 1 kilometer to evolve certain Pokemon that need a walking distance requirement. And you need to get 7 heart with a Pokemon that you usually need way more in order to evolve as well. Here in this case, Florges as well as Sylveon. Otherwise, we are going to have here, yeah, just generally the spawns that we had already throughout the season in terms of the community days. And then we're going to have here on the right side, there is the rolls cut off. Here you're going to see it a bit better. Basically, those are going to be the Pokemon that are going to be spawning for the last 10 minutes of each hour for both days. Those are going to be Pokemon community days that have been happening previously already. Those are the community day classics. So yeah, we're going to see here already what we're going to have. I don't want to make the video too long either. What you have here as well though, you have a special research which costs actually $5 US, but you're going to get 2 elite TMs, and I'm definitely going to get that one because I think it's kind of, yeah, 2 elite TMs is kind of cool. The thing is, I think back in the day there was the same research which cost €1, which had also 2 elite TMs in it. But we're not going to talk about that, right? But yeah, still good research, kinda. If you value elite TMs like this, I do value them because I do content towards PvP and I need that kinda. And this is the thing as well here. A lot of Pokemon that we have here, of course, Pokemon that are more interesting towards PvP, especially with the moveset that they have. And so let's take a look at what we have here. We're going to have Payback on Machamp. We have Scald on the what's called Vaporeon. We're going to have the Zap Cannon on the Jolteon. We have the Superpower on the Flareon. We're going to have Shadow Ball on the Espeon. We're going to have the Psychic on the Umbreon. Bullet Seed on the Leafeon. We have Water Pulse on the Glaceon. We have Psyshock on the Sylveon. It's like Pokemon that I don't really see a lot of times in the GO Battle League. That's why it's a bit difficult for me sometimes. I played all my games basically back in the day in German, which is my mother tongue. So like I am knowing the German names for them a bit easier, but this was. For Renegator as well as Quavel, gonna get Hydro Cannon. Charm is going to be on the Runerigus, no, Reuniclus. We also have the Synchronize on Galate and as well as the Gardevoir. Avalanche here on the Ice Cone. We have Razor Shell on the Escavalier was actually better at one point. Excelgor has Energy Ball. We have Florges with the Chilling Water, Beak Blast, of course, on the 2 Cannon, the Clanging Scales on the Komao, Air Cutter on the Corviknight, the Frenzy Plant on the Meowscarada, as well as Blast Burn here on the Scalditch, as well as Brick Break now as a final one for the Pomo. The few last ones I actually am more familiar with because I played the games in English, so that is more easier for me there. But anyway, we're gonna take a look here today on which one are gonna be good and which are not. We're going to have here a list already. I actually started already with Machamp, good job me. I just gonna put the things on the side here so I can see that on the side as well, again, the kind of moves. Of course, we have Machamp here already and good to have, which is going to be kind of where it belongs to be. Actually, I just realized I had to fix the layout a little bit for you to see all of the stuff, so now it's going to be all fixed. Now you see here, Machamp is going to be in good to have. This Pokemon is going to be, of course, able now to have the move Payback, which is really good, as this is going to allow it to be, yeah, it's generally not considered to be the most useful move on this Pokemon. It's not the move that you usually would want to run. It's either Stone Edge or the Rock Slide, mainly Rock Slide nowadays because Rock Slide got buffed. But Payback still has the benefit of being able to hit Ghost type Pokemon for super effective damage, which is a surprise factor, and that can help you out with Machamp as it's a fighting type that usually would be weak to Ghost types. That's why Payback is still cool, especially with Karate Chop. You get there quite fast, so it's a good move. It is generally, though, a move that's only good to have. It's not must have, and that is kind of clear here. Also, I just realized that the D tier doesn't really make sense, so we're gonna get rid of the last one there because I don't really want to have that one there. But you have here must-have Pokemon. We're going to have the good-to-have Pokemon. Maybe in the future, it's kind of self-explanatory. Pokemon that could be good in the future with that move. And how about now is going to be for a Pokemon that really don't want to run this move. By the way, if a Pokemon is good but doesn't want to run the move, you might see it a little bit further down than you would expect, but basically the must-haves are the Pokemon that you want to really evolve during this event in order to get a very good PvP Pokemon. It's all about PvP, by the way, here today, nothing about anything else. And so, let's take a look here at the next one. We're going to have the Scald Vaporeon. Honestly, Vaporeon needs to be like getting a big upgrade in the future, and I can't see it happening as a pure water type. I don't think that Vaporeon ever is going to be good. It's from the evolutions that are not good yet. Actually, the one that is closest to being... Okay, not the closest, but one of the ones that have at least a better stats in order to get up there eventually. But there's a lot of work for this Pokemon that I don't think it's ever going to happen. Especially as it's like a water type Pokemon, you would need to have like kind of signature move for EVs, which you have in Last Resort, which is a bad move sadly. But I feel like they should make that a way better move. But otherwise, we're going to have here, the next Pokemon, which is Zapcan and Jolteon, which can go up into the How About Now tier. And then we have Flareon, which I put maybe in the future. It has access to Superpower. And I actually want to check here real quick, because I do think that Flareon most likely would be able to learn Ember, and that it has Ember already. So with that, it's going to be very fast to get to the Superpower. The issue is, you don't have a good secondary charge move. So Overheat is actually most likely the best move to go for, as this is going to give you a lot of firepower, but it's not going to allow you to really knock out a lot of Pokemon. The issue as well for this Pokemon is the stats. 1591 is quite frail, and with it, it's maybe going to need like a really good other charge move in the future, and that's going to be good, but right now, not really needed. First, absolute must-have is going to be Hydro Cannon on Feraligatr, both for Shadow and non-Shadow. Both of them are very good in the GO Battle League, a Pokemon that you absolutely want to have. Next up, we're going to have here the Espeon getting Shadow Ball. I can't see that this Pokemon is ever going to be good. Like, if you gotta take a look here, for example, at Espeon. Espeon wants to run Shadow Ball, don't get me wrong. It has Psychic Fangs, which is absolutely fantastic as a move for a Psychic-type Pokemon. And Confusion, which recently got buffed. So that's basically the best moveset possible. It is bad. It doesn't work. And so I have to put it into the How About Now tier. They're just 20 million Pokemon that just do the job better than Espeon is ever gonna do. So this Pokemon is not gonna be good in the future. Umbreon. Umbreon is a Pokemon that received a buff this season, and with this it's going to be good to have, as Psychic is still not, I think, the ideal secondary move on this one, but I could see that Psychic could be a move that could be buffed in the future again quite significantly, because it got nerfed for Medicham, but then Medicham got nerfed in so many different other ways that it would not be broken at this Pokemon at all. So if they buff Psychic in the future, it's going to be actually really good, but even right now it's still an interesting coverage move, as it's going to be able to cover the weakness of fighting for this Pokemon, which is quite nice for just the Dark-type Pokemon to have Psychic-type coverage. So it's not the worst move. Currently, Last Resort is a little bit above that. And yes, I could put it maybe in the future, but I think it's currently still viable enough that I think it deserves to be in the good to have tier. Unlike Gardevoir, goodbye there. Synchronize is just a bad move. The same goes for Gallade. Like, neither of them are going to have like potential with this move in the future, unless the move itself gets completely reworked and be like, I don't know, like 40 energy and 80 damage could be then solid. Then maybe in the future could be a worth a thing for it, but the move itself would need to be buffed. It doesn't need like extra moves towards it, it just needs the move itself being buffed to like, 80 damage, 40 energy. Anyway, we're going to take a look here now next at Leafeon, getting Bullet Seed. No, like it's just not, like it has Leaf Blade, which is cool. It has some potential just in theory if it gets a very solid amount of updates, but it's just not really that great. Same kind of goes for Glaceon here. It has Icy Wind, which is great, but as it's Ice type, that doesn't have the greatest stats. Yeah, Water Pulse is a solid coverage move in theory, but like there are so many Pokemon that just gonna do the job better than this Pokemon ever gonna do. So sadly, a lot of the evolutions are quite bad. Next up, we're going to have the Charm Reuniclus. It's not going to be ever good with it. Like, the move Charm is currently the ideal move on this Pokemon, but the Pokemon has bad stats, a bad typing, and alright charge moves, but with the fast move that we have here, it's not going to work out. Reuniclus is absolutely a no. Avalanche on the Ice Comb is maybe here and maybe in the future. It's currently a funny Pokemon to run, but it's actually not that good. I actually forgot the name of it, so that's kind of great. The name is of course a Vanillish. I definitely didn't have to just look up the German name for it. And as you can see here, this is going to be the pre-evolution, which has Icy Wind, Signal Beam, and Astonish. And Vanillux is of course the evolution of it, which I can't write even correctly. That's great. And yeah, Avalanche is apparently recommended for this Pokemon, but it is absolutely so far away from being meta in any kind of way that I highly doubt it's ever going to be useful. So actually I would even put it into How About Now. I don't think it's even that useful. Next up we're going to have Escavalier. If Razor Shell gets buffed, it's actually going to be interesting. But Razor Shell would need to get buffed, and I think the Pokemon itself needs a buff. But it's a 35 energy move that is part water type, which is cool for a Pokemon that only has one weakness, which is fire type Pokemon. But then again, you have Drillrun already, which is going to be the better move for the Pokemon as well. So maybe in the future, I just give it so I have a little bit of a wiggle room here. As I'm going to move on with here the Pokemon that kind of needs to be traded with it in order to get it for cheaper. It's going to be the Acelgo here, getting next to Energy Ball, which is going to be How About Now. A lot of bad Pokemon so far for the GO Battle League, at least from the community days. Honestly, like, even Machamp is a long shot here. Like, this is not, like, it's good to have, but it's like not a meta Pokemon at all with that. Umbreon is alright, but again, last resort is better. So far, we're only going to have Feraligatr up here, and that is going to be a bit of an awkward one, but we still have some Pokemon to go. And the next one is going to be a must-have. This is actually the strongest community Pokemon, I think, this season. It's going to be, the Florges. Florges getting access to Chilling Water is absolutely fantastic for this thing. It's going to be an absolute monster, being able to debuff opponents left, right, and center. And it's going to be a meta Pokemon for Great, Ultra, and Master League. This is one of the, I think, the actual only Pokemon other than, I guess, Dragonite, but Dragonite doesn't have the impact that Florges has. Florges is the first and only Pokemon that is absolutely busted in all 3 leagues, kinda, which is kind of funny. So like, it is very good in every single league that you can run it. So Florges is a must-have by far. We have Sylveon with Psyshock. It's actually kind of nice to have Psyshock on this Pokemon. The thing is, it needs a better fast move in order to be good in the future, or another charge move that's going to be good. Basically, it has some potential for the future. Sylveon has definitely some play there, but currently it's not there. Currently it needs to get a bit of an upgrade there, but maybe in the future. And I maybe can even take a look at Sylveon again. I think it's a Pokemon that a lot of people like, and I think it's going to have a bit of potential still, because you have the Quick Attack plus, it's called the Quick Attack plus Psyshock. It's kind of cool together. But Sylveon itself here wants Charm usually, but Sylveon with the move Quick Attack is kind of cool, and then you're going to be able to be a bit faster, which is going to be alright. By the way, Sylveon also has the option to run the Mystical Fire, not right now, but in theory maybe later on would be an update that I would like to see, because it will make this Pokemon quite a bit more interesting. Doesn't make it broken by any means, but has a little bit more play with that then. But most likely maybe Mystical Fire would then kind of overtake what the Psyshock is currently doing, so for me maybe in the future it's kind of fitting. Next one, must have. Beak Blast, Toucannon, seems like a meme. It's a very squishy Pokemon, but it's honestly so good. Like with Peck and Drill Peck and then Beak Blast, it's honestly such a good Pokemon. And honestly, Como, I was first having it good to have, but I actually kind of want to put into must have. Clanging Scales on this Pokemon is really, really strong. Clanging Scales is one of the strongest charge moves in the game, which is kind of funny, which you can even see here as well. If you go onto the moves, you're going to be able to go into the charge moves, and you're going to be damaged by energy, and the first one is Clanging Scales. It's the strongest move in the game right now. So I can't put it anywhere else than this. And with Como's recent update there to Dragon Tail, as well as an upper hand, this Pokemon is actually fantastic. Next up, we're going to have Corviknight, must have. And all of a sudden, the community day list looks a little bit different, and I didn't even do it on purpose, but it's a top tier Pokemon in Great and Ultra League. Both of them, you really want to have the community day move. Air Cutter is a great move for this Pokemon. Absolutely would recommend you to get it. Next up, we have Meowscarada. It's actually good to have. It actually had a lot of success, especially last season. I do think it's going to be a bit worse this season, personally. But it is a Pokemon with a great typing, and Frenzy Plant is kind of needed for it. As well as you have Night Surge and Leaf Edge, which is really nice together. Just in the season where Ice-type Pokemon got buffed, I don't think it's the best season for Meowscarada currently, but has a lot of play and had a lot of play already in the last season. Skeldurge. Blast Burn. Maybe in the future. Skeldurge itself actually has some potential already, but because Torch Song is so strong and so overtaken, you don't need the community day move for this Pokemon. It's actually more of a hindrance. I do think that Shadow Ball, especially now after the buff, is going to be the better move on this Pokemon by far. And so you are now looking at a Pokemon that actually got buffed with Shadow Ball here quite significantly, which I want to take a look at on the channel as well still. Stay tuned for that. You look at the Pokemon here that honestly doesn't need the community day move. It really doesn't. And the same goes actually for Pomo. I'm going to put this there as well. It's a fun pick already, but it has Brick Break as a community day move, which just doesn't help it at all. Like, it really just doesn't help it. Like, Brick Break, it got buffed now, but it just doesn't really help it at all. Because, yeah, basically you're going to want to run the Close Combat and the Wild Charge for this Pokemon. Anything else doesn't make sense. And so next one we're going to have Quaquaval, and this is going to be a Pokemon that is maybe good in the future. If it gets a better move set, basically a better fast move especially, then it would be really, really cool. And this is going to be my list here for the community today. What you really want to focus on, of course, are the first 2 tiers, but also the 3rd tier. You can maybe take a look at this as well. Especially like here, Flareon is going to be the lowest one together with this one. Which one is the most likely to succeed with a certain move. I'm just going to put this one like this. This makes more sense for this tier. The other ones are not ranked as well. Like Flood is definitely the most important Pokemon here. But yeah, for this list here, for example, you kind of really want to focus on, for the maybe in the future Pokemon on Sylveon, which you also can get cheaper right now, like easier to get basically. The Galate, if you want to. If, for example, like the Synchronize, which is currently a really, really bad move, just like sadly the case, 80 damage for 50 energy is garbage. Like, it's really, really bad. Especially if we take a look at Shadow Ball, which is 100 for 50. But if this move Synchronize gets buffed, especially if it gets to like 40 energy with 80 damage, then this move would be actually really solid and would be really cool on this Pokemon. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. A little bit longer than I expected, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.